Hey there, creepy peeps. My name is Nightmare Maven, and I like to talk about horror movies. I also like Letterboxd. That's such a weird way to intro this. If you're new here, hi, welcome. This is a monthly wrap-up. I'm sure you've seen one of these before on insert however many movie YouTube channels here. If you're returning, you already know what it is. So let's get into it. Quick little detour though before we jump right into it. I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. It's always there. I'm also now offering annual memberships on my Patreon. You can head over there for more details, but if you get an annual membership, you'll get 16% off, which is the maximum they will allow you to give off. It's about 2 months free. Here we are at Letterboxd. Here's my diary for the month of April. So remember in March when I was like, oh, don't worry, the rest of next month isn't gonna be all Marvel movies. That was a lie. Yeah, I decided to just go ahead and finish the Marvel movies. At least all the way up until Endgame. So that leaves like, I think one Spider-Man movie and then like WandaVision and all that stuff. But yeah, I did a whole thing. I just finished it. I just went for it. So now I can actually say the rest of the year won't be full of Marvel movies. Because they won't, because I finished them. So I was playing a little bit of catch up for Azul's movie challenge, which I'll link in the description. It's just one movie a week. Sometimes that proves more difficult than other weeks. So, you know, I was just playing catch up. So I watched Blade and then The Vampire and The Ballerina. Blade I've seen before. I'm realizing now it doesn't say that on here. I have seen this before. Love the Blade movies. Grew up watching the Blade movies. They've always been favorites. And then I watched The Vampire and The Ballerina, which I did not love. It was just really, it was strange. It was strange in like not a funny way, where I could probably see if you watch this and like get some, I mean, if you watch it and you like it, that's also perfectly fine. But if you watch it and like get some like enjoyment out of it from like laughing at it, I would also understand. The music they would play like when the ballerinas were dancing just totally like took me out of it. And it was just, yeah, it wasn't my favorite vampire movie, so. And then I watched all of the Avengers. Oh wait, no, there's a few. Sorry, there's a few horror movies sprinkled in here. I'm not gonna get into detail with these. I really liked Ant-Man. I've seen Black Panther before. I really liked that one. Just to go over all the Marvel movies really quick. Doctor Strange was okay. I thought Thor Ragnarok was fun, and that's not surprising. Taika Waititi directed that one, and I really like his sense of humor. Spider-Man Homecoming was awesome. I really enjoyed that one. I think Tom Holland might be my favorite Spider-Man. I'm gonna do a whole ranking just for my patrons where I'm actually gonna like get into all this. I do not want to post that online. Not because I think Marvel is lame or anything like that, but I'm like genuinely scared of the fandom like at large. I'm much more comfortable giving my, what I know are unpopular opinions to the entire Marvel fan base. Don't feel like it. Watched Freddy versus Jason. This was for a, why is it gonna ask me? Is it gonna ask me that every single time? Yes, click it. I've seen this one before. Obviously this was for a movie night with my patrons. Still enjoy it. I think I probably rated a little lower than I would have like when I was watching this as a kid, just like fucking loving it. Me and my brother watched this movie so many times. I don't know, like I know I say that about a lot of movies, but I'm just like curious if anybody else out there did this either now or as a kid. Like when you found a movie you really liked, you just watched the fuck out of it. And by watch the fuck out of it, I mean like you watched nothing but that for like a week to 2 weeks straight. Because that's what me and my brother did with movies that we really liked. There's some stuff that definitely did not age well, to be expected, both like dialogue wise and visual effects, but still fun just to watch. Okay, let's sort through all the Marvel here. Did I just watch it all straight through? Awesome. Speaking of other movies that didn't age well, I watched Waiting. Seriously, is it gonna ask me this every time? Yes, leave. I'm not leaving the site. I'm just going to another page. My friend had never seen this, so we did a Netflix party and watched this because it's on Netflix currently. Pretty much every other line in this movie has not aged well. Again, one of those that me and my brother watched the crap out of. We thought it was so goddamn funny when we were younger. The ending is still the best. I do gotta say, the ending of this movie is just perfection. I love it. If you've ever worked in customer service, food service is kind of like a whole different little thing. So definitely if you've worked in food service, but customer service in general, you will relate to pretty much everything that happens in this movie. So it's cathartic in a way, you know what I mean? All right. And then I watched The Happening and The Village for Does This Offend You? We had an M. Night Shyamalan fest and watched two movies that probably, I don't want to say his two most controversial movies, but probably ones that get like top tier, get like the most visceral reactions just by mentioning it. You know, I still really like The Village. Like, I don't know, I don't mind the ending. I definitely did not get as mad as some other people have gotten about that. The Happening is just, it's a thing. If you haven't watched it, you need to experience it, I feel like, at least once. Then I watched Willys Wonderland. I did a review on this. Yes, I did. Basically just Nick Cage in a Five Nights at Freddy's style thing. That's it. He doesn't talk in this movie at all. So if you're kind of like me and Nick Cage just like teeters on this like ledge of you really liking their performance and you being really annoyed by their performance, I feel like this is like a great balance. I'm not saying he needs to not talk in every single one of his movies from now on, but it works really well in this movie. That's all I'm saying. Not something I'd necessarily watch again, but I had a good time watching it. Then I watched The Ripper. It was on my Netflix watch list. Seriously, why? Every time. There's gotta be a way to fix that. It never used to do that. It's been on my Netflix watch list for a little bit. I don't know when in 2020 this came out, but it's relatively new. So this is about the Yorkshire Ripper murders. I liked the twist that this took, which is why I rated it so high. I thought it was gonna be more of like a straightforward, just kind of, here's what happened, here's an explanation of like, you know, what happened to all these victims and how they were caught, da 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 da. But it really, it really took a turn, especially at the end. Like, it was kind of like, I feel like it kind of hinted at it like every episode, but the end, I feel like the last half of the last episode was really just like, let's rip into these investigators and just tear them like 17 new assholes. It definitely takes a look at how inept the investigators were when investigating this guy. I won't explain in detail how infuriating it is. It definitely has a little tint to it about how prejudices affect police investigations. It also seemed very, I don't want to say timely because this came out before what happened to Sarah Everard. It happened to be a little like timely for me when I decided to watch this. This came out before that. But a lot of stuff that was going on during this time period when the Yorkshire Ripper was coming around it was again just infuriating in a different way, because it's like the stuff you were hearing with that case, it was like the same stuff you were hearing in this docuseries, like telling women to go out in pairs, don't go out at night, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And they were showing like protests that were happening during this time because women were fed up with them being told what to do to not get attacked by men. And it's literally just the same thing now in 2020 and 2021, which is really infuriating. Not that I didn't know that already, but to see it in a docuseries like that while all that was happening, yeah. Anyways, then I watched Blade Trinity. Why did I skip the second one? I don't know. I really actually like the second Blade. I do enjoy that one. But I watched Blade Trinity probably because I have that one on DVD. I don't have any of the other ones on DVD. I thought I did. So I just decided to watch this because I had it. So cringy. Not Wesley Snipes. These two on either side of him. Cringy. But I quite like it. I think it has a little bit of fun. I think the movie is having a little bit of fun. Then I watched Lute's Flower of Evil, which I did a review on. Loved it. I just decided to pick it at random and film it, like me choosing a movie, which I've never really done before. So let me know if you liked that, if you enjoyed me doing that. I can always do it for other movie reviews. That's how I find them sometimes. Like I don't have any plan for another video and I just kind of take to Google and find a movie to to talk about. So yeah, I really liked that one. Then I watched The Vanished, which was for a patron movie night. Also, this was a wild ride. I'm not really gonna go into details with it because this is a movie that has like 17 different twists. But it was okay. You know, I thought it was a fun time. I think, if I'm being honest, the higher rating is not necessarily because the movie was like fantastic. It wasn't bad. It was just okay. It was just like on par. But I had a really good time watching it with my patrons. So I think that upped the enjoyment factor for me and why I gave it a little bit of a higher rating. Also, just fun fact, this is directed by Carlisle Cullen. So sorry, I had like a moment when I realized that during the movie title. Then I watched Crazy Stupid Love because it was on Netflix and I really like that movie. It's a fun movie. Steve Carell is hilarious. Ryan Gosling is hilarious. Julianne Moore is hilarious. Also that iconic confrontation scene also. I honestly will just sit and watch the entire movie just for that, even though I know I could look it up online and just watch it all the time, but the comedic timing in all of that is just brilliant. I love it. Then I watched One Cut of the Dead, which was for Azul's movie challenge. I was a rewatch because I just really wanted to fucking rewatch it. So good. So good. If you haven't seen One Cut of the Dead, please do. It's literally like 3 movies in one. I actually kind of forgot. I didn't forget like what was supposed to be happening in the movie, but in the first third of the movie, when you're actually like watching the movie, I had forgotten like most of what was supposed to be going on in the background, like as they're actually broadcasting the zombie film. So it was fun to rewatch it because then I was like, that first third of it, I was just enjoying it as like the bad zombie movie that it is. Okay, so this on the 23rd should be a double feature. I think I just forgot to rate it. I do that all the time. I'll sit here right before I film these wrap-up videos and go through and try and see if I forgot any movie. Why do I do that? I don't know. I just, in my brain, I think, oh, I'll log it in a second, and then I don't do it. I decided I should probably start watching some Studio Ghibli movies because I've only ever seen one, and the one I watched was required for a course. It was Nausicaä? I can't remember how you say the name. That was years ago, so I decided I should try and maybe watch a few of them. I don't think I'm gonna go as crazy as Marvel and watch them all like back to back to back, because they're not like series, it's just from the same studio. So I watched Kiki's Delivery Service and then My Neighbor Totoro, because I feel like those are 2 that I see the most of, probably because I work in a retail store and we do have Kiki's Delivery Service stuff and we have My Neighbor Totoro stuff in store. So I just feel like I just had to watch those first. I loved them both. I laughed, I cried, I said, oh my god, that's so cute. I loved them both. I thought they were great. I'm so glad I finally saw them. There's a bunch more on my list that I really, really want to watch that I know by name, but just have never seen, obviously. So I'm really excited to watch those. I will go back and log Totoro though before that, sorry. Okay, then I saw Promising Young Woman, which I made a review of. I actually went to the movie theater. to go see this. I lucked out my first time back to the theater in a year, and I had the theater to myself. Me and my friend went to go see this, and it was awesome. We were just talking so loud, which is a weird thing to do. If you ever have the theater to yourself with a friend, just talk as if you're at your house during the movie. It's bizarre. Like, I want to be quiet because I'm in a movie theater, but then I realized nobody's in there, so it doesn't matter. It's very strange. But it was fun. I really, really enjoyed the movie. It was a great movie to go back to the theater with. And then finally, I watched Godzilla vs. Kong. Obviously, I had to go to the theater for this one also. Didn't quite luck out to get the theater to myself. It was fun. I went into it with the same kind of expectations as I did Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was the last one I saw, the last one that came out right before this one. The whole only thing I wanted out of it was these big titan things to be fighting each other, and it to be big and loud and explosions and badass stuff, and that's what I got. So I I kind of think it had the same issue, and I'm gonna nitpick at it. It had the same issue that I did have with Godzilla King of the Monsters, with all the human stuff going on. There was just a lot happening. There's different groups running around everywhere, so between everything else, it's like bouncing around like all over the world between all these people. So that is kind of like, because they have so many other characters besides like the two characters you're here for, Godzilla and King Kong, they don't really get to dive deep with any of the characters, which is unfortunate. But like I said, I'm coming here to watch these two fight, and that's what I got. I thought it was fun. I don't know really what's gonna happen after this. Is there supposed to be something after this? I don't know. All right, so there you have it. That is everything I watched in March. Not a lot of horror, but I got the Marvel out of my system, you guys. Okay, now I can say I've watched all of these. Let me know what you watched this past month and what your favorites were in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a creepy peep today. I post 2 new videos a week on Tuesdays and Fridays, so I will see you next week with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.